Good morning, children. Today we discuss about the lesson Judiciary. The Judiciary. It is the organ of the government responsible for the interpretation of law and its implementation. It is responsible for settling disputes and bringing offenders to justice. The judiciary is independent of the executive and the legislature. Our constitution has established a single integrated judicial system for the whole country. This means that there are different levels of courts that function in a hierarchy of authority. At the top of the hierarchy is the Supreme Court, followed by high courts at state levels. Below the high courts are the subordinate courts at district levels and local levels. Decisions made by the lower courts can be appealed against courts. This ensures that if justice is denied by one court, it may be served by another. The Supreme Court. It is the highest court of law in India and the final interpreter of our constitution. It is located in New Delhi. Composition. The Supreme Court consists of the Chief Justice and not more than 30 other judges appointed by the President of India. Eligibility. In order to be appointed as a judge of the Supreme Court, a person must be a citizen of India and any of the following: a judge of a high court for at least 5 years, an advocate of a high court for at least 10 years, a distinguished jurist in the opinion of the President. Term. Supreme Court judges retire upon attaining the age of 65. A judge of the Supreme Court can only be removed through the process of impeachment for proven misbehavior or incapacity. Jurisdictions and powers. Jurisdiction refers to the power of a court of law to enforce law or carry out legal judgments. Supreme Court has three types of jurisdiction. Original jurisdiction. Original jurisdiction refers to the power of the Supreme Court to hear a dispute as and when it arises for the first time. The Supreme Court exercises original jurisdiction in the following cases: a dispute between the Government of India and one or more states, a dispute between the Government of India and one or more state on one side and one or more states on the other side, a dispute between two states. Public interest litigation (PIL). Citizens can directly approach the Supreme Court with a matter that they believe is of importance to the public. This is done by submitting a writ petition or public interest litigation to the Supreme Court addressed to the Chief Justice of India. The Chief Justice of India can review the public interest litigation and the writ accordingly. The Supreme Court has the power to issue formal commands for the enforcement of fundamental rights known as writ. Appellate jurisdiction. Appellate jurisdiction empowers the Supreme Court to hear appeals against any judgment or decree passed by a high court in civil or criminal cases. The Supreme Court is the highest court of appeal in the country. It has the power to review the decisions of the High Court. Advisory jurisdiction. Supreme Court enjoys advisory jurisdiction, which empowers it to provide advice to the President of India on constitutional matters when asked to do so. The Supreme Court is the guardian of the Constitution of India. Therefore, it has the power to determine the constitutional validity of laws passed by the Union or state. It can declare a law null and void if it is in conflict with the Constitution. This is known as the power of judicial review.